This podcast is sponsored by Lucky California. It's finally back, football season, and your neighborhood Lucky California can help you celebrate at the tailgate party or on the couch. Grab a tray of wings, turkey or ham sliders, dips, and more. And don't forget, Lucky California has awesome prices on adult beverages, and you save 10% more when you buy just 4 bottles. Plus, you can order online and have it delivered so you never miss a snap. For all your football fun, start with Lucky California, the golden state of eating.
The man with the immaculate drip joins us on the UMA guest line. Donte Whitner, what's up, my man? How you doing?
Hey, how you guys doing today?
We are doing just fine. What'd you think of Trey Lance's performance? And we'll go from there.
I thought it was good. I thought he put the team in position to score and win the game. The guys around him really didn't help him too much. Big drops on third down, one by Sanu. I think a lot of the holding penalties came from him not being used to him being back there moving around, and they'll be able to clean that up moving forward. But you had 2 big drops from Deebo Samuel. The running game was able to, generate some yards on the ground, but, they just couldn't make enough plays in the red zone. There wasn't one time during the game where I felt like they couldn't move the ball, even when they had third and long situations, and Trey proved that he can get them out of situations with his legs. So, super excited about him moving forward.
So I know I am going to ask you to speculate, but the question I'm going to ask you, I feel comfortable in doing it because you still talk to guys on this team. You're not that far removed from being in an NFL locker room, from being around practices, so you know the vibe. After Trey Lance's performance and what we know about Jimmy Garoppolo, if things were even, both of those guys were healthy, who do you think the team would want to have as their starting quarterback going forward?
I would think, especially the receivers and tight ends, they will want Trey Lance moving forward. Did you see how many times he pushed the ball down the field? Mm-hmm. That was more times than Jimmy Garoppolo did in 4 games. So that alone in itself puts fear in defense and defensive coordinators. And a lot of times Arizona's defense was scrambling. Kyle Shanahan had them off balance. If they were able to generate more first downs, be able to keep that defense on the field, they could have put some points on the board, but they were able to get into the red zone and just weren't able to punch it in. And I understand what Kyle Shanahan is doing. In the red zone, you don't really want Trey Lance to throw the ball from a drop-back position so much because that's the second, third level of the maturation process of a quarterback because things happen so fast. You have to be decisive. You have to be super accurate. And there's so many different things that they can do down there. But the game plan, I do like it. I didn't like the 2 4th down calls. I didn't like the play calling on it. I like them being aggressive, but I didn't like the Kyle Juszczyk quarterback sneak. They did that, a couple weeks ago, and you have to know that the defense was in tune. They had safeties flying up from the secondary and the A-gaps and the linebackers and the A-gaps, which tells me that they talked about that during the week. So if he could have that back, he would take it back. And another one on the quarterback sneak. I think that that was a little too basic. But other than that, I like them being aggressive. I felt like they moved the ball. They just couldn't get in the end zone.
I thought it was interesting. I mean, I think you got to really separate the design quarterback runs from the scrambles. And when I went back and did that, the numbers, I mean, Trey averaged only 3.7 yards per carry on the designed runs. Designed runs did not work out. On the scrambles, he averaged almost 12 yards a scramble. So to me, I'd much rather see him scrambling. I'd rather see a better play. I don't want to see quarterback runs with the quarterback being run between the tackles. It's not that he can't do it. It's just that risk reward and why run your quarterback between the tackles and he's hurt now. How did you see the way they used him? Because Donte, I was looking at the post game. No 5 quarterbacks in the last 45 years have run the ball 16 times in an NFL game. It hasn't happened that often.
Yeah, it doesn't happen that often unless you have talent like Lamar Jackson type of speed, Kyler Murray, and Trey Lance has some of that ability as well. And you're right, on the design quarterback runs, they were a little basic. There wasn't too much misdirection. The defense looked like they knew what was coming. But you have to know that with this package, there's so many different plays off of that same action that they haven't implemented yet. And a lot of times you have to do it like college football. You have the weapons that can catch the ball, get the yards after the catch. You spread these defenses out all the way to the sideline. And if you want to load the box and we have a mobile quarterback and we have an extra blocker as a running back in here, and you have a light box, we can utilize some of those quarterback powers up in between the tackles, not only outside. And if you load the box and you don't have anybody over our overhang, number 2 or number 3 to the field, we're going to throw the ball out there to Deebo Samuel and allow those guys to pick up some yards. That's the next evolution of this offense. And being that I'm calling college football now, I see a lot of it. I see a lot of mobile quarterbacks. I see a lot of these offenses that will trickle down into the NFL in a few years. And Kyle Shanahan, he has that package. He has to implement it, put it in, and the players have to execute. So, yeah, on the initial scrambles when he was getting yards with his legs, it's going to be naturally it's going to be more yards than when they called it because they blocked it. They didn't block it up too well, and the defense was in tune with what was going on.
I have to give you your due, Donte, because I asked everybody at the beginning of the year who's the most indispensable player. You're the only one that said Raheem Mostert.
Yeah,
it was mostly Bosa, Warner, and Williams, and you said, "Well, I think it's Mostert." And holy smokes, you couldn't have been more prophetic. I wish I wouldn't have known that. Unfortunately, I do now because that running game that's a major scuffle right now to be able to run the ball.
Yeah, it's difficult, and this offense is predicated on running the ball, being able to stretch it in the zone scheme, getting the speed of Raheem Mostert outside because he can break a big one at any point. And these linebackers and safeties on the second and third level, they have to respect that. And naturally, when you have to respect that, you take your eyes off of your pass responsibilities. And that's how George Kittle has gotten so many yards. That's how you get guys open in the RPO game is when you have that mega threat at the running back position. And people laughed at me when I said that. Raheem Mostert is the MVP of this team. Yes, he is. And when you can run the football, guess what? Your defense rests up. Your defense has a lot more energy to go and play first, second down, and then get after the quarterback. When you can't run the ball, you lose possessions. The defense is going to feel a long time. So it's a trickle-down effect throughout the team. And that's why I felt like Raheem Mostert was the MVP.
What's interesting is when you said it, I just had never thought of it. I was like, wow, I haven't heard that name before. And I thought, well, you know what? And then sure enough, another name for you. Can we maybe reintroduce Brandon Aiyuk to the 49ers offense?
Yeah, we should. He has the talent. He has the ability. I know they're trying to play psychological games with him over there and really teach him a lesson about preparation and being a pro, but you need to open the offense up. George Kittle is out. Aiyuk had an unbelievable year last year. Did you see the play that he made on 3rd and long?
Yeah,
incredible.
Yep.
He has all the ability in the world. He just needs the snaps, and he needs the ball thrown to him. That's it. He's open on a lot of these routes. So hopefully moving forward, they'll give him his just due and allow him to play himself back into what he was last year because there's no drop-off in talent.
Donte Whitner joining us, as he does every week here on the Tolbert, Kruger, and Brooks show. Jump to the defense. It was just an absolutely outstanding job. And considering how much of a problem running quarterbacks have been for the Niners defense over the years, and know that Kyler Murray, he's more of a passer now than a runner, but he's still a very dangerous runner. There was really none of that with the exception of one play. The job that they did in that regard, buckling down there, I thought was just absolutely outstanding.
They did a phenomenal job. And on the pregame on NBC, I said that you have to disguise first and foremost, and it's a trickle-down effect to the quarterback and how you affect him. If you give easy reads, it's going to be easy completions. The receivers, they know where to go. They know their cadence. They know where they have to get open. They know the leverage of the defensive backs. The quarterback knows the same. If you can disguise, slow down, his process of what he thinks he's seeing, right, muddy up his reads, that allows your defensive line to get home. And when you rush a guy like Kyler Murray or any of these mobile quarterbacks, it's not about just going AWOL and doing your best spin move. It's about everybody working in unison, constricting the pocket, knowing that he wants to spin to that back shoulder when he does escape the pocket. And they were in tune. Everybody. The only thing I'm disappointed with is, sometimes the defensive coordinator can invite throws. So similarly to that 3rd and 6, when you had Josh Norman matched up against arguably the best receiver in the National Football League. Yeah. Hopkins, and you invite the fade. So whether you get a penalty there, you can't really expect Josh Norman to win those one-on-one matchups versus Hopkins. So you have to put somebody over there or allow him to be outside leverage, safety in the middle, and drop somebody in that slant lane so that he doesn't have to play 2 moves. And another thing is I don't like how they started on defense. There were simple mistakes. pursued lanes to the ball. Josh Norman gets cuts down on the edge. There's a big play on the outside on the bubble screen. Championship defenses don't start like that. They start fast. They do the fundamental things over and over and over, make them easy, and that's the way you win games. So it was hard for the 49ers to get into the end zone, and the defense needed to take those points off the board. But other than that, they played flawlessly, and DeMeco Ryans called an absolutely brilliant game. Yeah.
You know, one of the things that's totally clear at this point is that your Niners, the Harbaugh Niners, were better on the margins than this group of Niners. Their average field position as far as offensive drives, 29th in the NFL. Turnovers per drive offensively, 23rd in the NFL. They're even worse on defense. They're dead last in defensive turnovers per drive. Those were three areas that Harbaugh's Niners excelled in, and Shanahan's Niners are consistently not excelling in. But I got to ask you about the offense, because this offense has Trent Williams. He may be the best left tackle in the game. They have George Kittle. They have Debo, who's been as good as almost any receiver. They got a deep group of running backs. They got Kyle Shanahan. Why are they averaging 5 points a game in the first half through the first month of the year? Five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why?
Well, one of the reasons is they can't run the football. And when you can't run the football, the pass game that Kyle Shanahan likes to utilize, it's almost like worthless, because a lot of it is trick plays, it's play action plays, it's taking advantage of the individuals on defense who have bad eyes and who aren't in tune with what's going on. So when you can't run the football, that's what happens. And then when you don't have consistency at the quarterback position, you can have all world players at all positions. But if you can't make the right reads and get them the ball in opportune times, and, you know, understand what the defenses are doing towards you, where you're supposed to look as a quarterback, how you're supposed to manipulate coverages with your eyes, your head, your shoulders, and not stare down routes, you can't get the ball to the playmaker. So it's a bunch of different things, and it's easy to clean up. There's a lot of games left. There's 12 games left. And I don't think that anybody would say in the last 3 games playing these difficult teams that the 49ers were just looking like they were just overmatched. Right. They're 1 to 3 plays away from winning all of them. But, you know, when you don't handle business the right way all the time, you end up 0-3 in those games.
Well, I actually just think you answered my next question, because I was going to ask you, and you could tell me if you think I'm off base with this. I've been saying I don't think the 49ers are that far off. I think they're close. It's just for one reason or another. They doubled up Seattle. That was a special teams nightmare. Against Arizona, they outgained Arizona. If they held on for 37 seconds, they beat the Packers. And I know those are all ifs, but I just feel like they're close. And if they could just get it clicked in, this team can run off 3, 4, 5 in a row. And it looks a lot different now, right, Donte, than it did the first 2 weeks of the season. I feel like the way it looks now, it could look completely different 3 or 4 weeks from now when we look back at this.
Well, you know what they say. They say if ifs were a fifth, we'd all be drunk.
It's a great line, man. That's a great line.
If they would have done this, it's a performance-based business, and you have to remain and be in the moment. Everybody in tune with each other, guys. So, yeah, if ifs were a fifth, we'd all be drunk. So if we have every opportunity, like all other teams in the league, they have all the talent, but it's the small things. It's the repetition. It's the way you start games, sustain, and finish that ultimately determines your fate and if you make it to the playoffs and, you know, to the Super Bowl. So they have an opportunity. They're not too far off. And I think, you know, if you think about it, if Garoppolo gets back out there, they haven't had Trey Sermon, Elijah Mitchell, and Garoppolo at the same time since I think like week 1. Mm-hmm. So those guys have been showing some productivity on the ground. Even last week, they showed some productivity. So if you can get Garoppolo back out there, get the RPO game, get these guys to gash them a bit on the ground, put some fear in the defense, I think that they'll get some wins coming soon.
And it's not the optimal way to go into the bye week, losing 3 games in a row, but being so close in those 3 games, you'll take that, and that's something to chew on as they get a little rest and then have to mash the gas when they get back. Donte, as always, we appreciate the time. Be well. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, guys. Have a good one. Talk to you next week.
Man. Thanks, Donte.
Thanks, Donte. This podcast is sponsored by Lucky California. It's finally back, football season, and your neighborhood Lucky California can help you celebrate at the tailgate party or on the couch. Grab a tray of wings, turkey or ham sliders, dips, and more. And don't forget, Lucky California has awesome prices on adult beverages, and you save 10% more when you buy just 4 bottles. Plus, you can order online and have it delivered so you never miss a snap. For all your football fun, start with Lucky California, the golden state of eating.